Homework 407, Part 2. Let's take a look at the first topic of linear regressions. So there's a story that goes with this problem, but essentially the question is just asking you to write the linear regression equation. That's a y equals mx plus b sentence, and they're specifically stating that that sentence should have values rounded to the nearest hundredth. Once you create that equation, you're then going to find a new value using that prediction line to the nearest whole number. So every question is different, and you can use either the delta math calculator by copying the values, opening the statistics calculator, pasting those values in, choosing the calc menu, choosing linear regression, turning the diagnostics on to make sure it looks good, and then you can take a look. Right? So my equation is going to be, and I can go back and forth because you have two tabs open here. My regression equation will be y equals, and this is around to the nearest hundredth, so it's 2 decimal places, negative 17.09. Negative 17.09. And then plus 708.05. Plus 708.05. Alright, so there's my regression equation, and it needs an x, which I did not type by accident. There we go. And then it asks me to use that equation to find the projected number of new cases for 2008. Remember, we started in 1998, so 2008 would be 10 years from then. So I'm going to type this sentence into my graphing calculator, but instead of an x, I'm going to put a 10. So negative 17.09, parentheses 10, and then plus 708.05. And this one asks me to round to the nearest whole number. So 537 is going to be my answer. 537. So submit, check. Now, you really need to practice doing this on your handheld calculator, because during the test, all you have is this TI-84. So in order to do that, you have to press the statistics button, the stat button, and you need to edit your data. If you have some old data in there, you can just press delete, and that will take away each of those data entries, or you can clear the list. Okay, start typing carefully all of that data. When I go fast, I usually mess up, but I will reread it when I'm done. Okay, let's see, 65, 78, 71, 76, 84, 56, 68, 72, 70. Okay, now arrow over to our next list. I'll look over the data, 70, 73, 84, 85, 45, 60, 57, okay. Now press Stat, arrow over to Calc, and choose number 4, linear regression. Press Enter 5 times, and read your directions carefully. This one says to round the coefficients to nearest 10th this time. So if I round to nearest 10th, that would be y equals 1.6x minus 45.1. Okay, now I need to calculate a prediction. And the question says, using this equation, find the projected test grade to the nearest integer for a student with a homework grade of 72. So that means that the x will be replaced with a 72. So 1.6 times 72 minus 45.1. My prediction is a 70.1, and rounded to the nearest integer, my prediction would be 70. Answer of 70. Grade, I should say 70. All right. Let's take a look at our next topic, which is finding increasing or decreasing domains. So increasing is when you're reading from left to right. If as you're reading, your eyes are traveling upward, you're increasing, and then if your eyes are traveling downward, you're decreasing. So for us, we are increasing from all the way to there, and then we stop. That vertex or that turning point is where we stop increasing, right there. So everything from here lower is actually increasing. And as soon as we get to number 2, we stop increasing. So everything that is lower than 2. So when x is less than, when x is less than 2, all of that is the increasing section. Let's try that again. Find the domain in which it's increasing. So all of the numbers until we get to the vertex, which is at 4. So when x is less than 4, it is increasing. Then it turns and it starts decreasing. Okay, next question. For which interval is the domain decreasing? So when I'm reading with my eyeballs this time, from left to right, I'm actually going downhill until that turning point, which is -1. So anytime x is less than -1, it's decreasing. One last time, when is it decreasing? Well, if I read my graph, this is the decreasing section all the way to that vertex. So when x is less than 4. All of these are using a less than sign, but that's not true for every question. Just happens to be true for these. When is it increasing? Okay, this one's different. So decreasing, decreasing, hit the vertex, and now we're increasing. So the increasing section is everything after -4. So we're going to say when x is greater than -4 this time. Greater than -4. All right, let's take a look at the positive and negative. That's different than increasing and decreasing. If you are positive, you are above the x-axis. And if you are negative, you are below the x-axis. So they're asking us, when is the function positive? And the function is positive here and here, but not from here to there. This is the negative part of the function. So it is positive when it is less than 1, and it's positive when it's greater than 5. So since that's 2 sections, less than 1 and greater than 5, we're going to write that 2 ways. When x is less than 1, less than 1, and then we're going to type this union symbol. That means and. And when x is greater than 5, that is when it's positive. Okay, all right, let's try one more time. So they're stating this in a different format. That is the word negative. If you are less than 0, you're negative. So that is right here. This is when the function is less than 0. So from -5 to -1. Between -5 and -1. So I can type it with interval notation. I can type it with inequality notation. But I'm going to use these, -5, -1. I'm using parentheses here because instead of the brackets, because when you're on the number line, you're actually 0. You're not less than 0. So there we go. Okay, give those 3 a try.